This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma. Updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com, and if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. Welcome to a horoscope for the full moon eclipse in Taurus, happening on the 8th of November at 2 minutes past 10 p.m. if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. Now, first of all, let's talk about the house. So, as opposed to 2 weeks ago when we had that maybe potentially enlightening, breathtaking, dream-filled experience of a solar eclipse in the 12th house, the unconscious realm, we're now moving to somewhere much more 3D, much more practical and earthbound. This is the 6th house for you, Sagittarius. This is where this eclipse is happening. So this is where we work, where we enact ritual, where we go through the rhythms of our daily life. It's about our health and our relationship to animals and the earth as well, and how we find ourselves and ground ourselves in that rhythm, and how that looks for us. You know, this is Taurian energy in this house for you, Sagittarius. So I imagine that there's a lot of pleasure in there too. There's a lot of there's a lot of slow-moving beauty and lusciousness in your everyday life. For an eclipse to happen here, let's talk about it this way. So there's a couple of dates that I want you to gently think about. 19th of November in 2021, and then April 30th of this year. So that was eclipse number 1, eclipse number 2 in Taurus. This is the 3rd in this round. So this isn't new stuff. This is stuff that we've maybe been experiencing for a year now. But for an eclipse in the 6th house of health, you know, has there been messages that your body has been showing to you, been bringing up for you? Has there been extra work that you've needed to do to maintain the vessel and to tidy up the habits a bit and make sure that you're treating yourself with beauty and respect? It could be to do with just sort of your everyday existence. Perhaps there's been maybe short circuits that have occurred in there. You know, this time last year in particular, think about that. Like, think about my rhythm, my ritual. What was the power outage in that space? My relationship to animals and the earth, you know, was it pets and things like that? Like, was there something in a year ago that happened and then showed itself again in April 30, like this sort of on this rhythm? The eclipse here is going to be more of the same in that regard. So I guess stepping away from the unconscious dreamscape that we explored 2 weeks ago, this is physical results. This is practical. This might be a more visible eclipse for you. It definitely will be a visibly physical eclipse in the sky. We'll be able to see it if we wish to look at it. I used to look at eclipses. I used to love them. I used to watch the whole transition. I was told recently that there might be something to that. There might be something kind of draining or exhausting that occurs if you watch an eclipse take place. You don't have to take this as gospel. You don't have to take this in, but I've been ruminating on it because I want to, obviously I want to watch this eclipse happen, but I'm thinking, I wonder if that's something that might be better to retire from and to just allow it to happen It's can be, I'm here for you every fortnight. We're always activating, we're always shedding, we're always involved in the astrology and in our environment and in our relationship to the planets. In some ways, it's maybe at eclipse time, it actually might be a nice encouragement to just allow it to happen and allow it to wash over you. Now, the tarot card for 16 degrees of Taurus is the Six of Pentacles. We've spoken about this card before. One thing worth mentioning, though, is that this lunation, the moon, is going to be in exact conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. And this is an energy that's been going back and forth for all of this year. And it will be, Uranus is a very slow moving planet, so it doesn't shift sign after a couple of years. But this Uranus in retrograde right now, this revolutionary sort of energy, this sort of rebellious simmering that may be colouring your daily rhythms, your daily ritual. There may be something that you've been cooking up or that you're willing into existence as far as changing up the way that you spend a day, changing up your health habits too, changing up the way that you relate to your body and its care. This lunation is going to be like an emotional short circuit in that way. If we think the moon, emotional response. So a short circuit in that revolution of the sixth house. The tarot card is the Six of Pentacles. So that is about receiving from others when in need and with no shame or guilt attached to that, because it's an equal give and take. There's a leveling out, there's a balancing that happens in the Six of Pentacles. So when the individual has enough, they pay it forward and give to those that might need it. When the individual's in need, they know that they can rely on the kindness of others to help them through the sticky spot. It's quite, maybe in some ways a bit Libran, like in that way of right relationship of balancing this. I sort of see this as maybe balancing some of that, because I'm sure you're on fire after that Scorpio eclipse. I'm sure, your dreams were off the hook. So I wonder if there was moments or images, or if you can remember what it is that you were dreaming about and how that has infiltrated your daily rhythm, your daily life, how that is activating how you spend a day, how you move through it, how you show up for other folks as well. The sun and the moon are in another square with Saturn again. This has happened on multiple lunations. This seems to be something, when we get to the fixed signs of the zodiac, there seems to be this pushy Saturn energy in Aquarius. For you, it's your third house, which is the village, your communication and language skills, how you absorb information and pay it forward, how you translate in the localized environment, in your village, your neighborhood. So I wonder if there's something about where you are right now that feels restrictive and feels maybe at loggerheads with your ritual, with your daily practices, with your access to nature. Maybe perhaps you're in an environment that you need to maybe spend a bit more time seeking out grounding activities. Or it could be limiting you from dreamland. It could be limiting you from expanding your mind that little further. I won't say that it's a negative thing. It's just, Saturn is restriction. It is, think of the planet, the rings. It's that kind of feeling. So, and this is not new. This has been for a while now. But I wonder if it's just worth noting. I wonder if there's something in your daily rhythm that will be maybe like, I don't know, like a burst of inspiration or a burst of You might see something in your workaday life, in your daily practice, just the way that you sort of get up and mindlessly, brush your teeth or whatever it is. There might be something that sort of all of a sudden feels sacred in there, or oh, I could do it this way, or oh, it's like maybe I'm not so restricted by my neighborhood. Maybe I can be myself wherever I am. I don't know if that's a message that you needed to hear. I don't know. That could be something that's happening here. Let's look at the intuitive tarot that I pulled you. So I got the Ace of Pentacles, and then some very interesting cards. I got the Ten of Cups, then the Nine of Cups, and then the Eight of Cups on the back of the deck. So a sort of regression in some way. The cups are our emotional access. The cups are... The Eight of Cups is a journey. It's a mission to go out and seek the missing cup. You can see there's 8 cups all stacked up here, but there's one missing right here. And so this individual is taking a journey, going on pilgrimage to seek out that missing cup and to bring it back. If we remember that the cup is a metaphor for our emotions, for our love, I can see, and I don't say regression in a bad way, it was just very interesting how they came out one after the other. There's like, I can feel that there's an offer here for you, Sagittarius, that's kind of quite, it's something you can hold in your hand, and it might actually, as practical, as it could be a lot to do with work, possibly, as material as it might seem, this offer, it's going to open up for you this portal to your emotional well-being. The Ten of Cups is happy home, happy family, one meets the other, beautiful, loving, utopia with the Rainbow of Cups. We have asked the question before, what happens after the Ten of Cups? Do the credits roll? They don't roll in life. We know that everything, good and bad, is a cycle. We know that it's sort of everything comes around and moves around. So there's something I feel about this offer kind of setting you in backwards momentum, or kind of, because if this is the bottom of the deck energy, it's kind of like both are leading to this sense of like emotional contentment for yourself. There's something really kind of solitary about this, and that's not to discount beautiful relationships that we have or the yearning for them, but there's something about this offer that maybe adds to your self-worth enough that you find sort of like a caring door opens, or support for yourself kind of opens up. That journey to go out and seek the other cup, to find what it is that we need, that's going to to get us to this Nine of Pentacles, which is solo satisfaction, sort of quiet contemplation and quiet peace with who we are at this current moment in time. We actually don't really need anything from anybody else emotionally. We actually feel really self-actualized and proud of ourselves that we can take this rest stop. Yeah, this offer that may have something to do with your 6th house, work. It could have something in there. It's going to get you out of your maybe longing for this, happy ever after. Doesn't exist, but it's nice to have a card for it. But I feel it's like a journey of self-discovery. It's a really it's an emotional one. There's some lovely, lovely healing that I can see in this reading. Some beautiful what's the word I'm looking for? Like just self-love, self-forgiveness. Maybe that's what it is. You forgive yourself. All of your quirks and, little ways are beautiful. And the way that you go about things and the way you do things, and, there's no mistakes when it comes... Yeah, that's not true. You can forgive yourself any shortcomings or any clunkiness around your emotional capacity, your capacity to love, your capacity in relationship. Maybe in dreamland at the Scorpio eclipse, there was remembrances or things came to you from the past, and there was some blessings there that will aid you in this forward movement, this kind of reactivation of the sixth house ritual, taking care of my body, my health, my, physical, mental, spiritual health, all of those things, and my emotional health too. That could be what's happening for you, Sag. I hope it is. I hope it is. That's lovely. That Saturn energy I was talking about is in your third house of the village and in language. So maybe, there's stuff that you maybe have not been able to say, you can feel at this eclipse, and there might be an extra emphasis on that for you. That shows up in your 3D world. That's the reading, Sag. Yeah, great. Head to umaruby.com, get your birth chart read. You can get a fire, earth, air or water reading or a spirit reading. If you're a return client, I have just published a new reading called the Witch Reading, and that is tarot heavy. We use your birth chart as a background rhythm, but we know that we've read that in some capacity before. So if you are wanting some intuitive tarot, a real hour of power with the cards, then pick the Witch Reading. I'll be speaking to you in 2 weeks though for the new moon in Sagittarius. So this is your first house. This is your house of the soul. This is your potential. That will be a really lovely activation after eclipses are all over and done. That will be really lovely to engage with you on that. I'll speak to you then, Sagittarius. You take care. Bye.